Hello students, I want to welcome you to economics class. We're going to be looking at manufacturing and construction, and this is part 2 of this lesson. My name is Shola Oluwadare. Now, let's look at the objective of this study. Number 1 is to revisit the meaning of manufacturing in economics. We also revisit the meaning of construction. We also examine the percentage of the contribution of the two sectors to the Nigerian GDP. And of course, we look at the problems encountered by both sectors in Nigeria. Now, by way of revision, manufacturing is the making of goods by hand or by machine that upon completion the business sells to a customer. So when you are using your hand to make something, you're already a manufacturer. So a company that is also using machine to put some things together for a customer to enjoy is also a manufacturing company. Now, construction covers a lot of processes. Those processes are involved in delivering buildings, infrastructure, industrial facilities, and associated activities through to the end of life. So it simply starts with planning, financing, and design, and it continues until the asset is built and ready for to use. It's ready for use for many purposes by you and I. Now, both manufacturing and construction industries contribute significantly to Nigeria's GDP. Significantly because even when a sector is contributing like 1% to GDP, it is very important. But the manufacturing and construction sector actually contribute neighborhood of 9%, 7% to Nigeria's GDP every year. So we say average because if you go to 2014, 15, 16, 17, depending on so many factors, depending on circumstances within the economy at that time, it contributes at least 7% to the GDP. Now, just like all other economic activities, there are so many problems that are encountered by manufacturing sector in Nigeria. Number 1 is economic downturn. When the economy is on a slow lane, just as it affects other activities, it also affects manufacturing. For instance, when there is inflation, the prices of raw materials go up. It also affects manufacturing because the manufacturers, they need those materials to produce the goods that you and I will consume. Another problem is preference for foreign goods by Nigerians. Most Nigerians like using foreign goods. They downplay manufacturing companies in Nigeria. Some feel that manufacturing companies in Nigeria cannot produce quality goods. Some also prefer foreign goods because of status. So preference for foreign goods by Nigerians is a problem to manufacturing sector. Another problem is inadequate facilities for practice in Nigerian higher institutions. Most graduates will pass through higher institutions without actually having to practice manufacturing on a practical note. Another problem is faking and counterfeiting, policy instability. All of these are problems that are being encountered by manufacturing sector as far as Nigerian economy is concerned. Now, let's also look at the problems being encountered by construction in Nigeria. Number 1 is conflict among construction professional bodies. There are so many construction professional bodies in Nigeria. Surveyors Act its own institute. builder its own institute, architect its own institute. Some of the time, the functions of this institute are overlapping. So when their functions overlap, there are different conflicts by then. And with this situation, it does not help the construction industry in Nigeria. Of course, the economic downturn, as we have explained, the manufacturing sector also affects construction. Preference for experts by Nigerians. Some Nigerians don't believe that Nigerian engineers can construct well. Nigerian surveyors can handle their work. So some of them, they prefer foreign experts. It doesn't make the construction sector to grow very well. Inadequate training facilities in Nigerian universities, conflict between graduates of HND and universities. These higher institutions, sometimes because of their mode of entry, companies that hire them, they make so many preferences. They prefer one to the other. That can contribute to the problem of construction in Nigeria. And of course, expensive imported tools used by construction managers can be very expensive because most of them are imported. Now, let's look at what we have discussed so far. We have said that manufacturing is the making of goods by hand or by machine, that upon completion, the business sells to a customer. We said construction covers processes like delivering buildings, infrastructure, and industrial facilities, and all those associated activities. We also look at the problems encountered by these two sectors in Nigerian economy, like economic downturn, preference of foreign goods by Nigerians, inadequate training facilities in Nigerian universities, and as many as possible that you can think of. Now, I will not let you go until I have given you an assignment. We have enumerated all the problems that have been encountered by manufacturing and construction firms in Nigeria. Your assignment is to go and look at those problems and how they can be tackled. Thank you very much and have a great day.